Welcome to KG5 for Statewide Cup Final Day, kicking off with the Hobart Zebras taking on Launceston City in the Women's Statewide Cup Final. It is a beautiful day for football, save for a little bit of a breeze, but the sun is shining. And joining me to call this one, Paul Hunt. Welcome, Funty.
Thank you very much, Andrew, and very much looking forward to today. It's a beautiful day for football, as you mentioned out here. Slight breeze. I did feel that when I was walking in today, but it's not too much that'll affect the play. It's not quite a gale force, as we see the Tilford Zebras striking a pose out there with some of the youngsters who I think are on ball duty today and helping walk the teams out. But I'm expecting a great contest, especially in this women's final that we've got up first today. It should be a tight contest, Colin.
Well, both their previous meetings have been very tight affairs. The first time they met was at this ground. KG5 was a 3-1 win to Zebras. City led that game 1-0, and then a couple of long-range goals getting them back in it. Georgia Burt really taking over that contest. She'll be a key player for the Zebras today. The second time around up north at Buckby Land Rover Park, and it was a game that in the first 45 minutes was all Zebras. They were playing some brilliant football firmly on top, and then I'm not sure what happened at half time. That game did a complete 180, and they were absolutely battered in that second half. It was an all-out assault on the goal of Shelley Cook from City, but she put in an absolute masterclass of a performance. She was huge. Maddie O'Brien, Monique Undy in front of her, putting in some great shot blocks, and somehow Zebras survived through that one unscathed and won 1-0. But on the balance of play, it shows there's not too much between these teams, and I think we're up for a real cracker today, Funty.
Yeah, not much between that all. I was watching the highlights of that match last night. An absolute bombardment is the right word for that one, and Shelley Cook played an absolutely fantastic game that day. But Launceston City, it's certainly no David and Goliath contest that we'll see in the men's later. Two very, very competitive teams. Launceston City meeting both Olympia and Taroona, who both have great women's programs down here in southern Tasmania, so they're in good form as well coming into this.
So we'll go through the teams taking part in this contest, starting with the Hobart Zebras. Up top there, Ali Berry. If there's a more informed player in the league right now, I don't know who she is, because she has been downright electric over the last month. Tore Ulverston apart in the second half last week, scored 3, set up another 2, was an absolute tour de force. She, for me, is the key in the Zebras midfield today. She'll be joined by Alyssa Bowden and Georgia Burt. They're very good players in their own right. They keep things ticking over well, but in terms of a game breaker who could win you a final, I think Berry is probably the key there. In goals, number 1, Shelley Cook, as we said, was just a massive figure in that previous game, and could be a key for them today. Danielle Canagiza, she is the leading scorer for this Zebras side. She's been banging him in all season, and is in pretty good touch right now, as is number 2, Kayla Mason, who's been played just about every position on the park so far this year. Started off in pre-season as a defensive midfielder, then she was shifted to centre-back, and now she finds herself as the starting left-back. And I think that's going to be important for this Zebras team today. She's the quickest member of that back four, and Caitlin Lapierre of Launceston City is someone with real pace on the right, so I think she'll be important to counter that. Number 4, Sarah Morris, gets the nod, presumably on the left, cutting inside onto the right. Bit of a Ian Robbins type, the cutting side woman, we'll call her. She just loves driving in onto that right. She'll be doing that all day. Not Eleni, but Emily Nellis will be right back for the Zebras. Number 6, apologies for that one, Emily. Maddie O'Brien will be the starting centre half alongside of Monique Undy, and Laura Spandler gets the nod as the third attacker. That was probably the one spot in this team up for grabs. They've got a multitude of attacking options, and a few of them on the bench. It is the substitution format out the window in favour of the interchange for this cup final, so we'll certainly see those subs involved. Number 13, Maddie Graham. Number 8, Jessica Harris. Number 18, Olivia McDonald, and number 12, Zoe Nichols, all very offensive-minded players, and I think Zoe Nichols in particular came off the bench, scored 2 last week, holds a real key. Adele Jarvis will be the backup goalie. Your thoughts on the Zebras, Funty?
Look, it's, as you were mentioning there, Colling's a very, very strong lineup, and the big decision throughout the week was who was going to be the other attacking option. It's Zoe Nichols to play. I think it's more the super sub role. I wouldn't necessarily see that as a demotion to the bench. She will certainly see some time in that attacking half today, and there is good pace in the Zebras team as well. You were mentioning before who's going to have to take on Lapierre, and then we've got Jess Harris on the bench as well. I do think DK's form up top could be the key. Between her and Ali Berry, they've got a great strike force or attacking area coming from midfield to the Zebras. So I think that's going to be the key today, is how Launceston City repel that attacking force of Zebras. And then we talked at the back, Shelley Cook's performance the other week, but Maddie O'Brien as a centre back. Sorry about that team out there. Maddie O'Brien's ability as that kind of tall, imposing centre-back, I think, is going to be crucial as well, especially covering the attack of Lapierre from City.
So we'll move on to the City team, the visitors in this Cup final. And as you mentioned, knocked off the other two members of the top four in the Super League en route to the final. In net, number 1, Katia Brown. She's going to have to play a big role today against that attacking threat of Zebras. Number 7, Beth Bygrave, one of the very best midfielders in the state. She got an absolute booming shot on her, and with a bit of wind about, could be a real threat from distance if she gets the wind at her back. Number 2, Keelan Fagan. In fact, really speedy, lively customer, just 16 years of age, but she scores for fun. A real star of the future is Keelan, and certainly will be looking to lead the line today for City. Number 5, Brooke Hernick. The Hernick sisters, a big part of this team. Brooke will be playing at the back in defence, and alongside Meg Siejka. I think it's going to have to be a very key performer for them today. Her sister Emily Hernick will start on the left. A few players can strike a ball like Emily Hernick, just always a threat anywhere inside the attacking third. She's got a lovely technique and a real goal threat that she carries, perhaps the biggest goal threat in this team. Number 9, Caitlin Lapierre, the American, I believe has come along with an import from the men's team in Dylan Williams, a bit of an American power couple in Lonnie City, if you will. She's starting on the right, I expect. It'll be interesting to see if they line up with the back three today or not. City, they've been known to do that a bit in the past. Number 13, Shalia Malkin, will be playing in defence, and as we've mentioned, going to be very important, those defenders back there, along with Siejka. Selena Stevenson, tough as nails, a midfield enforcer, or can play as a centre-back, a very capable footballer is Selena Stevenson, and it's her defensive work that allows the likes of Beth Bygrave and the next name on the list, Caitlin Storey, to flourish in those attacking roles. And Caitlin Storey, what can you say, the heartbeat of this City team. She's one of, if not the best player in the state, and certainly is going to be the key playmaker for her side today. Number 8, Kiara Walsh in midfield, bombing on, poses an attacking threat. She's in good form. Another weapon they're going to have to watch out for. On the bench, Lucienne Dewsbury, now Fujimoto, Maggie Goldsmith and Shannon Jones. I'd probably give the edge in depth to the Zebras, but I think in that top echelon of players, you've got your Hernicks, your Bygraves, your Storays. It's perhaps advantage City in that area, but this is going to be a cracking game of football, Funty, and your take on the City team, please.
Look, they're an absolutely fantastic lineup. As you mentioned, the pace is going to be crucial for City, and that back three, it'd be very interesting if they go with that, particularly of the attacking firepower that Zebras have, obviously, with the three creative attackers, and then Ali Berry running from midfield. So that's going to be a very interesting way that'll set up. Look, in terms of prediction, I do think this is a very even contest. There's not going to be much in this at all. They both match up rather well to each other, so it's going to be a great contest. I'm going to stick my neck out and make a prediction for the match. I think it's going to be Hobart Zebras just. I'm not going to go with scoreline. I just think it's about one goal in it.
Yeah, Zebras, of course, on a remarkable winning run. They are 16 from 16 in 2017. A streak that goes all the way back to the Summer Cup. Launceston City have dropped 3 games this year, and 3 games only. 2 of them, though, at the hands of Zebras, but as we discussed, they were pretty closely fought games. I'm also going to go Zebras. I think the travel factor for City might just hurt them a little, but really a game that could go either way. There's match winners across the park, and I think it's going to be a cracking contest out there as the players shaking hands and prepare to do battle. I'll probably go with a 2-1 victory for Zebras. I think their extra depth in the interchange format might just prove telling later in the game.
Yeah, look, that is a very good point. That's a popular prediction going around the especially the home Hobart Zebras fans down here. It's about the second time I've heard that already. I was thinking 2-1, maybe 3-1, just with that extra, like it being tight, and then I guess it caused the 85th, 90th minute. That firepower off the bench that the Zebras have may just contribute to that extra goal, but do not see this as counting out Launceston City at all. They are an absolutely exceptional team, and there's really not too much between us. We see pleasantries being exchanged out the middle there with the coin toss. A little bit of indecision there from the Launceston City captain Caitlin Story about which way to go, but eventually they've decided to stay on that particular side.
Interesting, just consulting the goalkeeper. As we've mentioned, the wind could be a bit of a factor today, blowing towards the footy round end here. And we saw a cup final a few years ago that was really impacted by the wind. It'll be interesting to see if this is similar. It really can impact it if it gets up. It's not too bad at the moment, but certainly a couple of hours ago it was blowing an absolute gale.
Yeah,
and,
it certainly was when I woke up this morning for the morning coffee run. And as you're right, I think I was there for that cup final. It absolutely blew a gale all day, and even up in the grandstand here. But luckily, it's just dying down a bit, and the protection of that footy oval up there, and we're not quite near the very windy Derwent River, so it's a nice little spot here for this match. So expecting a very, very good contest here, as it looks like they have switched sides and the Zebras are going to kick off. Just waiting for all the spare balls to be in position, and then we will be ready to go. And it looks like we're about to get underway here.
And it looks like a little back four being rolled out from Launceston City, so not going in the back three. And we're underway here in the Women's Statewide Cup Final. Nellis working it to Kanagisa, starting on the right. There's Georgia Burt looking to chip it in behind. Meg Siejka, who was an absolute wall at the back in that previous meeting between the two teams, working it forward to Caitlin Storey. I'd expect Georgia Burt to be sitting pretty tight to her today, as has been the case. A physical edge this one early as Kanagisa looks to get around Storey, works it in the Morris direction. Kanagisa back to Burt. Into the middle for Alyssa Bowden. I think just offside here is Spanler. And indeed the flag is raised. A good decision. She just strayed, but
just. I was actually watching Spanler as that ball was being playing through. She knew exactly where she wanted it, and look, there wouldn't be probably half a yard at most offside. But it's a good opening start from the Zebras. We've seen DK especially flying into those challenges in the centre of the park. And it's going to be a very hotly contested match here as we see Mason play it forward and gets the return ball. She's got Spindler inside, but nice play to get around. Launceston City defender again rolls in the challenge. Won't give up here, Will Mason. And that's well done from Gayla Mason. Searching ball inside, but didn't quite find it there. Back out to DK, back through to Burt. Still a bit of a contest here on the edge of the box. Launceston City with 7 players all back on the line there. Zebras just looking to create space in the middle here through Alyssa Bowden. Now looking out wide in the direction of DK, but good defence there from Lonnie City, and I think we've shown in this first 2 minutes that right-hand side battle is going to be crucial in this match.
Ali Berry taking up a very advanced position. This one off her boot and behind for a goal kick, but I'm not sure if she's playing as another striker almost, or whether she's just really getting keen out of midfield as she's been playing in recent weeks, but seems to be playing very advanced there, just tucked in behind of Morris, Spanler on the left and Kanagisa on the right. But Kayla Mason we saw also really looking to get in an advanced area, bombing up from the left fullback position, and Zebras were really looking to impose themselves in the opening minutes here.
Yeah, it certainly looks like, to start with, they've just sat Alyssa Bowden right in that defensive midfield, almost the Kante Makaleli role, and everyone else for Zebras almost has a licence to get forward, just keeping that solid back three so far, and then, well, especially in attack we've seen so far, is everyone pushing forward.
Yeah, for City, Keelan Fagan is the lone striker as this one's thrown in quickly, and a chance for a cross in towards the Spanler direction from Kanagisa. That's steered away, and the City defence does well enough to whisk it away as Zebras continue to probe in the opening moments.
And good positioning from Hernick there, just getting in front of the Zebras players and underrunning it, so no chance of skewing as you see the throw in taken wide, but falls right to Stevenson, who bombs it clear. Should be picked up by Matty O'Brien out wide here, but just slightly misdirected. Nice hustle there from, I think that's Georgia Burt. Yes, it is. Who's just dropping a little deeper at the moment. Nice interchange of passes out wide here. Looking to play it inside. It was Ali Berry getting on the ball nice and early. Trapped into a corner there was Launceston City, but they'll break eventually. See that through ball searching through, but Matty O'Brien should be able to claim that. And it's Bowden looking for a nice ball forward. I think they're both onside. It's Captain Spindler who's in the box. Will she shoot? Looks in the corner, and that's the first goal of the match. 4 minutes in. I think that's Laura Spindler there with the finish. Very classy finish, and just stayed onside already, they're calling.
Yeah, Spandler, she's broken in behind. They had their warning in the opening minute there. This time she timed her run perfectly, and Laura Spandler has opened the scoring just 5 minutes in. It's been a fantastic start from Hobart Zebras. They've been all over them, and what a brilliant ball that is from Matty O'Brien, the captain crafting the goal. She was in behind. Siege did her best to put her off, but when you're trailing in behind as a defender, not a lot you can do. You've just got to rely on the striker not finishing, and that was clinical from Spandler. She rewards the faith shown by Chris A, and Zebras get the dream start.
Absolutely there. Apologies to Spandler. I don't know where I got the spin from, but anyway, that was a great turn, and you mentioned before she's been looking for that through ball cut across the centre back, and then as you say, Cooling, you've got to be in the chance there to miss it, but there was no chance. Slotted coolly in the corners. We see Launceston City on the break looking forward. That's come right off the face there of the Zebras player, but knocked back in. Now got DK on the ball, looking again forward in the direction of Morris, who is certainly sitting up top almost as that, well, I don't want to say target man, target woman would be a bit more appropriate, but Kayla Mason picking the ball up out wide. Shout of a handball there on Lonnie City, but don't think there's much chance of that being given. As we see Caitlin Lapierre finally getting a nice touch on the ball. It's a beautiful bit of skill to get round Mason there from Lapierre. Looks inside. Launceston City with their first attacking shot in the box, but that should be saved by Shelley Cook, as it is. Very nicely done there, but a good build-up down this right-hand side. And the first time we've seen Caitlin Lapierre got on the ball, and that was a great bit of skill, Andrew Cooling.
Yeah, first time I saw her play a full game last week against University, and looked incredibly lively down the right. She's really added something to this City side, and there's something they're going to have to watch out for. Mason, a good matchup for her in terms of pace, but she's more than capable of making inroads. Linking up with Fagan there, and here's Beth Bygrave now looking to curl one in, steered away by O'Brien. Bygrave back on it, turns and curls one to the back post for Hernick, and just running out of room, and in the end does well just to steer it away, and they can try and box them in rather than concede the goal kick there. Clever play. As we have a look at the replay, it was a sharp ball from Fagan, and Hernick not quite able to get the purchase she was after. Cook able to scramble across and deal with that as Siejka will let this one run out at the back there, but a bright start from both these sides. City just looking to get back on the front foot after being really under pressure for the first 5 minutes. I think they'd be glad just to actually have a bit of spell in their own end. A throw in taken. Hernick lofts it over the top, but Cook will eat this one up. She'll send it along in the Spandler direction. It gets to her over the top of Lapierre. Mason nodded on again by Spandler. Dealt with by Hernick. Undy read that well, got in ahead of Fagan, but Bygrave wins it back, and she's a bit unlucky there, I reckon, Beth Bygrave.
I think that's very unlucky. I didn't spot that fouled too much there, but I think Zebras will be happy just to relieve the pressure for the moment. As we see Matty O'Brien take the free kick in the direction of Spandler, but well cut out there from Lonnie City. We now see, and that's again cut out from Matty O'Brien. Couldn't quite get it there to Lapierre, and just overhit there for Mason. Looking to take it quickly. Here's Lapierre down the wing in the direction of Fagan, who's got two for company. Speeds past them. Well, doesn't quite keep the ball in. That's Fagan, and it goes out for a goal kick. But Lonnie City certainly not deterred by that opening goal from Zebras. They've probably had the better of the play the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, definitely the wind is favouring that end, so City are going to want to go into the half-time with a deficit. They need to get back into it. It's only going to get harder, and look at how Shelley Cook's goal kick just holds up. The wind has really got strong in the last 2 minutes here. It's picking up, and City need to capitalise. Well, that's the case. Here's Lapierre. Mason all over it tenaciously. She's having a fantastic season, Kayla Mason. She'd be a lock in the Super League Team of the Year at this stage. She's been very rarely beaten as Hernick looks to launch the long throw in the Fagan direction. Floats over the head of Monique Gundy, and Shelley Cook can come across and collect it. And look to get things restarted, and might look to launch one here, and does just that. Nodded on by Morris. Set to task for the speedy Kanagisa. And Kiara Walsh playing at the back here. Deals with it nicely. Just allows it to run, then throws it down the line. Thought maybe it was a little push in the back on Hernick. And indeed there is.
Yeah, there was there. But just talking before about Shelley Cook's goal kick, we just saw the difference in that wind between that thumping ball that easily cleared halfway and then the goal kick before, which was a bit loftier and just blew right up and did not stray too far. As we see the free kick taken, and that should be cleared by Berry, and is. Not quite full to Berry, no, it'll go just over the back there to Bowden, but well picked up in the centre of park. A nice bursting run here from Bygrave. Still got the ball as Beth Bygrave. Now goes into the box. Will she shoot? And does, but well cut out from Nellis. Kept in as well.
After beating 3, probably felt, I'll go the shot, but maybe releasing Hernick and playing her in would have been the better option. But Beth Bygrave showing the threat she poses there. She's a real goal scorer from midfield. And she's back on it here and has a shy from range, trying to catch Shelley Cook off her line, who's across to collect that one. And she thumps this one away again. Along she goes in the Spanler direction. Nodded away. Spanler able to recover it. Turns and looks to thread it in the Burt direction. Cut out by Kiara Walsh. Diagonal from her. Well, Mason just with a fresh airy, but it'll roll out of play and be their throw in.
Don't think she got any contact on that. Luckily, no, claiming that it actually got the underside of the studs, which certainly didn't notice a deflection from up here.
No, I think that's probably a right decision given the lack of protestation from Mason. She needed to sell a case a little bit better there. A bit too honest, I think, there for her own good.
Yeah, it needed to run right to the ball and just take the throw in immediately, as we see Lapierre looking to take it in, but unfortunately it's been given, I think, as a foul throw in, as we see the throw in now taken from Zebras, and Mason launches it forward in the Spanler direction. Not quite the best clearance there from Malcolm, but they'll get there, and Hernick hustled off the ball there. That's a great covering challenge there from the opposing centre-back, who was clipped by Morris at the end there. That's a lovely, lovely bit of skill there from Hernick.
Siegka now will get them restarted, chips it down the Fagan direction, controls it well read by Mason, and then she was clipped. Play on the call though. And now Beth Bygrave, not her tidiest work, just sprays it out of play and puts the hands up in apology.
Yeah, immediately acknowledged that one. You could see what she was trying to do, just wrap her foot around it to the far post, probably in the direction of Hernick, and I think that was actually a collision between two Zebras players, causing Mason to get on the floor there.
Clipped by her teammate there, and those long balls towards Fagan. She did well with that one, but she's not really the old big, tall, powerful centre forward you want to be knocking long balls to. She's more the type you want to thread them in behind and use her pace. That's something you have to work on. This is an important ball to be won by Lapierre. She's been lively early, works it back to Hernick, just takes a little while to control it. Pressured by Morris, drives it down the line, and the goal scorer Spanler was there. Bowden to Mason, back to Spanler. Bowden, very tidy passing this, and now Berry looking to make one of those bursting runs, and she threads it through for Morris, who's in behind. Morris charging into the box. Siegka comes across brilliantly and intervenes. She's made a strong start to this game, and she saves the day there, Meg Siegka. Mason couldn't get that one. Back the other way comes City. Undy should deal with it, and does. And how good was that from Siegka?
That was absolutely brilliant from Siegka. I mean, that is absolutely dream centre-back play. Didn't dive in, did not panic, managed to get a foot on the ball, and then to actually turn and control it and create that counter-attacking option down the right-hand side. That's fantastic work. As we see Lapierre looking to get the ball inside, but good covering challenge from Burt, who wins it again. Unfortunately now, Bygrave gets on the ball. What can she do with it? Threads it through to Lapierre, who just a little bit of a mistouch there, and Mason will get the ball, pass it out to Spanler, who looks inside. Got one for company up front. Not too much else, so we'll look backwards. try and thread it through, but no luck there. And no foul given as well. We see in the direction of Hernick, but again effectively cleared from the Zebras. And that's a nice challenge there from Maddie O'Brien as well, and a deflected clearance should fall straight to Shelley Cook, who hasn't had too much to do this half so far. Looks for the quick clearance, but only as far as Bygrave, who chips it forward, looking to go all herself, and that's a nice header from Maddie O'Brien. Opportunity to counter here for Zebras, as you see Haley Berry on the ball, looking to play it wide to DK, who can play it through it again, but just a little too overhit there. Looking for the run of both attacking options of Spandler, but no luck there, as we see the clearance taken from Lonnie City. Nice header in the sun there. And there should be a bit of time here, and Kayla Mason should be able to pick it up. And does, plays it inside to Bowden. Plays it back out to O'Brien. A few options, she's got DK out wide, but goes to the right back, who now looks to thread it through to DK, but no luck. So we see Hernick. The ball passed right into the back of her feet there. Not sure how she was meant to control that one. But Launceston City will pick it up for a throw in. 14 minutes gone, and game's just settled down a bit after a little bit of a frenetic start, especially from Zebras with throwing bodies forward. As anticipating the long throw here, not too many options short, but does go to Siejka, who looks to play it forward in the Hernick direction. She was expecting a bit more purchase on that one, and effectively cleared from the Zebras.
15 minutes here. Zebras would be delighted with their start to the contest. City starting to grow into it nicely, but the pace of the Zebras causing them some problems. A long ball that might fall for Storey. Undy cleared it. Hernick now, picked up by Fagan. Back to Hernick, looking to pick out the corner. And Cook showed a safe pair of hands with Lapierre lurking. Had to be secure, and she was. And Cook thumps it right down the middle again. Headed back into the bullseye. Stevenson only as far as Burt. That might work out beautifully for Kanagisa. She's got Morris in the middle, just played it behind her, controlled it well. And they'll speed away in the end. Walsh will get over this one. They were looking a little bit open at the back there, City, but negotiated well. Into the middle for Bygrave. Heavy touch off her. Lets in Berry, but recovered it with a beautiful sliding challenge. She's an all-action midfielder is Bygrave. Hernick steered away nicely by O'Brien. Now it's Nellis. Her pass can't pick out Kanagisa. The throw in will be taken by City. Furious tempo to the opening moments this game, you'd have to say, Fundy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that last 2 minutes is probably the quietest action of the 17 minutes gone so far, as you see good pressure being held out wide here. There's just Siejka to offer in the middle, who's hasn't got too many other options, but eventually goes in the middle, and that was slightly overhit. Direction a bit. I think that's an offside from Zebras, and I'd say this is not given actually, so play on there. Morris has got the ball, looking to try and beat Siejka, but again, that's great centre back play, and eventually put out for the throw in, and again that demonstrates Siejka's quality there at centre back.
Yeah, she's made a fantastic start to this one. Made a number of telling interventions. Kayla Mason with the throw in. Goes to Alyssa Bowden. And this one will go back to Mason. A chance perhaps to cross, but she was offside, which will bring an end to that one. Just didn't quite step back in there, Mason.
Yeah, just probably looking to attack forward and get the cross in, but just need to take 2 steps to the right, but that's not too bad, as we see Siejka look to take the free kick from deep inside her own half. Zebra's still actually got most of their players on this side of the half, so trying to press high as we see Siejka lob it in the direction of Lapierre. It's a nice touch to get it down, and Mason just thumps it into Lapierre's hands. I'm not sure what she could have done about that, but free kick given nonetheless. We see Mason looking in that far post direction. Not quite 10 yards there from Lapierre. Now we'll see Mason. She plays it near post and nicely cut out. Nice ball down, and Lapierre too much power on that one, so it goes out for a throw, and nearly straight out a lovely camera woman's camera there, which could have been an expensive clearance.
Yeah, very expensive. Don't think the player would be footing the bill.
No, I don't think so either.
As the long throw comes down the line in the Fagan direction. She's got him behind under here cleverly. Keelan Fagan now surging towards goal. Maddie O'Brien across to Marshalla. Fagan looked across, well blocked off by O'Brien. Held her ground well and saves the day. Mason now battling with Lapierre. Two speedsters on this wing, and Lapierre, I think, a little bit unlucky there. I thought she got clipped from behind, went down, but play on is the goal.
Yeah, thought that was a bit of a foul, but play on given. Did have the chance to break down the right-hand side, but again, the ball just rolls out, and O'Brien and happy to roll that back to Cook for the goal kick.
Enjoying that battle between Lapierre and Mason early on. Tremendous pace, possibly the two quickest players on the pitch there on this near side. Engrossing viewing. Bygrave nods forward. Fagan will get to this one before O'Brien. She turns looking for Lapierre. Threading it through for Caitlin Storey. Can she track this one down? She does, and crosses, but couldn't keep it in the field of play. Behind it goes for the goal kick.
Yeah, nice run from Caitlin Storey, just making that diagonal and dragging the centre back out of play. I hope to see more of that in the rest of the game. It's just got a bit of a delay waiting for the ball to be collected. Nice crowd building up here as well, and for this day. Good crowd in the stand up here at KGV's. I'd say already 90% full, plus all those around. So very good crowd building here for the Women's Statewide Cup final today.
Yeah, massive day, and the first of two very good games of football. Storey, not sure if that was just an overhit pass or whether it was an underhit shot, but either way, Cook will collect and again launch it down the middle. He's got a tremendous goal kick on her, Shelley Cook. We saw the game in the Super League earlier this year. It was a bit windy. She got subbed on primarily for that reason. Jarvis was the starting goalie that day, but the wind got up as Lapierre gets around Kayla Mason. She's off to the races here. Tracking back well was Mason, but she threaded it through for Fagan. Again, O'Brien tracking her and puts it behind for the first corner of the game.
Yeah, we've seen that great pace from Lapierre there, as we'll see that on the replay. Just turns Mason and is absolutely off to the races. Nearly had the ball taken off of there at the end, but nice through ball, and Launceston City win the corner. First corner of the game, and it's going to be Lapierre over it. No, Bygrave actually, my apologies.
The usual set piece taker for City. He strikes a tremendous ball. What's she going to do here? Sends it to the back post. Kanagiza was there though. Bygrave will get a second bite though to try and produce something. Takes a touch. Now chips in near post. Cooks. Leans up a player there. I think it's Lapierre on the deck. She got the ball and she got a fair bit of the player too. And he's come off second best there. It was a teasing cross from Bygrave as you have a look. And Cook comes through, eyes only for the ball, and she's collected Lapierre with the forearm. That is nasty.
That is putting your head in the way there from Lapierre. Both players with all eyes on the ball, but Shelley Cook just beating there, and good to see Lapierre get up immediately. May just probably be checked as it was a head knock, but good to see up and walking. Heading towards the Launceston City bench. We'll probably just have to step off momentarily. Actually, I think that's an interchange that's been made from Lottie City. Yeah, that's Goldsmith coming on to play that right wing position. Guess that's the benefit of this interchange system, is that you can just easily assess the player with no down to 10 minutes. That's very good hassling there from Berry, but Jack turns out of that well, but well cut out from Ellis, who looks to play through DK down the wing. Still got it looking forward again, but it's a good hard challenge. Ends up with it to Spandler, who ended up on the right wing, and then that was not a deflected shot. Just scooped there in the end. Spandler does well to pick that up. Thought it might have taken a deflection, but no luck there, and out for a Launceston City goal kick. As plays just beginning here. Halfway through this first half, Hobart Zebras winning 1-0 so far over Launceston City. As you see the goal kick ready to be taken from Brown, who'll look wide, but that's very good closing down there. And again, Bowden charging through. And that defensive midfielder role well as Burt plays it out wide. Here's Spandler, who's just ended up on this wing. There's a free player at the back post, but well cut out before getting there out for a Zebras throw-in. I think that was Jack getting across there. Have a look on the replay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Walsh, I think.
Yeah.
Closing that one down in the end.
And then, yeah, it didn't quite get through to Jack, who was the first centre back there, but you've got Zebras' first corner of the match here.
And they were absolutely devastating last Sunday against Ulverston from this area. I think they scored 3 goals, a couple of booming headers, one in particular from Ali Berry, and she might fancy this one. She volleys it, cleared off the line there. Away they go, and now Matty O'Brien will get back on it. But they're a real threat from corner, Zebras. That was a well-rehearsed move. Headed away by Stevenson. Storey and Burt duelling. They'll be at each other all day in the midfield. Storey looking to pick out Hernick. Nellis got there first, got a foot in and steers it out of play.
I can see what you mean about that corner routine from the Zebras. Very well worked. Just Berry looking to jink through the back post run, but ends up pulling up inside. As we see, Hernick now has some space down the left-hand side. 2 in the box to pick out. Goes near post towards Fagan. And Goldsmith couldn't quite get there. So we see Spandler, who's now on the right-hand side, pick up the ball, and it's very well defended. Still in play. Eventually cleared from Jack, and a nice catch from the gentleman in the crowd there, as we see Zebras looking to make their first sub or interchange of the match. But throwing taken, and Bygrove places a nice ball down the left wing. We've got Hernick in some space. Again, 2 in the box, both Goldsmith and Fagan. Looks inside, ends up just hitting a little too near post out for the throw in.
Zoe Nichols set to be introduced, and I like that move. Chris A. Get Zoe Nichols involved. A real goal threat. And she'll take up the central position. Kanagisa will move wide, and she gets a chance in the box. She'd be odds on to take it. One of the more clinical strikers going around, Zoe Nichols, and scored 2 in the space of about 5 minutes after being subbed off against Ulvie last week. So in good goal scoring form as Fagan looks to flick it through. Here's a chance, cross towards the back post. Storey won't get there though. Cook able to collect.
Goldsmith, I think that was out in the wing. The new who came on earlier. That's again a fantastic goal kick, and DK brings that down expertly, especially in these conditions, looking to find Spandler on the far side, but well cut out. Hernick and Nellis on the ball, and Hernick just lets that run. Again, this is a promising position. It's about the 3rd time in a row they've attacked down here, and Hernick looks to play it in, and Cook just gathers that one up nicely. No chance of that one slipping through the breadbasket from Cook.
Yeah, just hit it with a bit of power, hoping for a little touch from Fagan that would have left Cook with no chance here. Body work there, and away it goes to Georgia Burt, pressured by Bygrove. Mason will retreat back to a goalkeeper. Shelley Cook just lets it get away from her. The wind picks it up, and is that going out for a corner? Not quite.
Not quite. I tell you what, that is Exhibit A of the win so far today. That rolled just a nice little touch there. All of a sudden it just kept going.
Lucky there wasn't a little lump on there. Might have just stuck it off the post. Very nicey stuff there from Shelley Cook, and she'll take note of that. The wind definitely a factor. Storey with a thumping header forward towards Hernick. Ellis sticking tight to her. Keeps this one out of play. Starting to really get involved is Emily Hernick, such a key member of the City attacking group. This one's nodded in to the path of O'Brien. She plays it to Burt, just under hit the pass a little bit, and Burt able to clear up the mess though and works it forward. Siejka was there. There's it down the line. Hernick again, ships it in the Fagan direction, flick on it. Goldsmith's lurking. An offside flag had been raised though, so nothing coming of that attacking move.
And again, that's starting to lose count of all these attacks down the left-hand side through Hernick of Launceston City. They've clearly targeted that the last 5 minutes. As that goal kick taken a bit too far back, which is interesting. So we'll put it out there to Cook, who's got both the centre-backs for company. Plays it short to O'Brien. It's got Nellis and Spandler out wide. Finds Spandler. Well, looks to go inside. That's good pressure defence from Hernick. Barging in, and Bygrove picks it up, plays it forward to Fagan, who's running in on goal. It's Fagan. Undy comes across with a good use of the body there, just to nudge Fagan off it.
Yeah, well done. Monique Undy saves the day there. I thought Keelan Fagan was about to level things up. It was looking promising. And Undy to the rescue as the free kick is blown there. Perhaps a little bit soft, but just collecting DK a little bit high there was Hernick. Yeah, throwing a bit of an arm. Fair enough. Good decision, I think.
Yeah, it was a better angle the referee had there than we did up here. It was right in front of us where we couldn't see that cheeky arm go out, but as we see O'Brien and Mason having a quick chat for the free kick. 5 players already in the attacking position for Zebras. It's going to look in the back post direction. No, plays it to the near side here with Zoe Nichols running in, takes control, and that's brave goalkeeping. All falls out to DK, who'll look to play it back to Burt, who gets there just in time. Plays it back out wide to Kanagessa, who tries to play it around the Launceston City defender, but eventually right into the arms of Brown, who had that brave goalkeeping effort from before.
Yeah, just spilled out. I thought for a moment when it fell to the feet of Kanagessa, it might just be 2-0. The defence able to get back and marshal it before she could set herself for the shot as we tick towards the half-hour mark. What's been a thoroughly entertaining first 30 minutes here at KG5. Zebras striking early through Laura Spandler. And City have probably shaded the contest since then, but do have the benefit of the wind at their backs. Here's Mason, just sold Bird a little short. Bygrave tight to her and steers that one out of play.
Just watching Coach Chris Hay before there, sort of imploring Burt to present a bit more and trying to get her more on the ball to play those through balls to the strikers, as that one's headed out from Graham. Oh, sorry, my apologies, from Malkin. So see Mason taking it again, played over the head of Nichols, who'll look to run onto it, but it's nicely taken from Hernick, and Siljack clears. Mason turns around Goldsmith, plays inside looking for Burt, but no luck, and Goldsmith ends the ball back, and Mason just cannons it into her shin pad, but the throw will go Launceston City's way.
You can see since Nichols has come on, just hanging on the last shoulder of the defender. She likes to body up and then just run out muscle and turn the centre backs, and Zebras looking to exploit that with their attack since she's come on. Long throw, the wind picks up that one and Fagan gives chase. Undy will just try and shield this one out of play, and she'll get a throw in. Probably a good result for City in the end there. It just took a little bit of a turn, and
well, if you're kicking for position, I mean, that is absolutely perfect. It's penned down there, and this throw in, if that wind picks up, it's probably not going to go that far no matter who's taking the throw in.
Yeah, I think a few rugby coaches would very much approve of that tactic, and well, we see there
Exhibit 8.
I think blaming it all on the wind would be a little bit generous, though. Not Carnava's tidiest work, and she'll get another crack at it due to that. My biggest gripe with footballing rules, really. I think if you stuff up the throw like that, you should get another crack at it. But I digress as Bygrave hits it first time. There was no one in the middle, though. This one might fall for Kiara Walsh. Works it for Hernick. Nellis has stuck tight to her throughout the contest. The throw in will go Zebra's way. O'Brien wants it short. Receives it. Nothing really presenting and turns it over. Zebras scramble it away. Undy again clears. Just getting him pegged back a little bit. But you do feel these next 15 minutes really important for City. They need to take advantage of the wind at their backs here.
Especially as the wind is now picking up. I'm not sure if you're certainly getting that through LFX, Mike, here. And the Australian flag on the far side is blowing a gale, as we see. Launceston City trying to attack here, but eventually gets the ball in. Goldsmith needs it probably unintentionally to Hernick, but ends up quite well. And Hernick goes for the return ball, and Shirley Cook will pick that one up. It was a nice play there, even if she necessarily mean it. And that throw-in's taken a big hit with the wind. Bygrave looks to chip the keeper and off the crossbar. A fantastic attempt there from Beth Bygrave.
Yeah, she's a real threat. Just seized on the error and just knew Cook was scrambling a little and directing that one onto the crossbar. She is a real goal threat, Beth Bygrave. Strikes the ball with such a good technique. And that was not far away from being 1-1.
That was absolute picture-perfect technique of chipping it, and maybe if it wasn't so windy, that may have just snuck in underneath the crossbar as we see a bit of a wasteful clearance there. I think that was from Nellis. And that's got Chris A out of his technical area. As we see Launceston City going to take the throw in their half. It's certainly been most of in their half the last 20 minutes. And taken in direction of Hernick, who'll use body well. Bygrave in the centre, doesn't choose to use, instead goes towards Fagan, who's just headed out of it. I think that was Undy just getting that glancing header back to the keeper. It doesn't matter what conditions, Shelley Cook can absolutely bomb the ball out. And it's fallen to Spandler. He looks forward in the direction of Nichols. DK's up there as well, but well cut out from Hernick. And just a bit of a heavy touch there from Nellis on the far side. But that was a very impressive goal kick.
It's a real useful tool they have, Zebras. I'm not sure that Brown has got a similar cannon at the other end, which might make life a little more difficult in the second half for City trying to clear the area, but they're right back on the offensive here. It's going to spill the way of Burt, steered it wide, but Walsh was the only player there. Down the line, looking for Hernick. Nicely defended again by Nellis. There's a little bit of action on the Zebras bench. Is it Matty Graham, I think, going to come on? So the rotating cast up top will continue. Here's Barry, been a little bit quiet in this first half. She's been well handled by the midfield as this one's played in the Catageeza direction. Hernick there, Nichols looking to barge in, customary fashion, but well dealt with away there. Forward in the Fagan direction, couldn't jink inside of Undy. And Mason across, door 8. Oh, skipping around her was Bowden, did it nicely. Into the cross for Spandler. She goes down the middle to Nichols, got a foot in. Again, steered away. It's just back and forth at the moment. No team able to maintain possession. Bowden to Burt. O'Brien, and they just settle it down, perhaps wisely so. Directing traffic was O'Brien, then sends it long. Oh, if that had got over the top, Nichols was on. She gets the ball anyhow. Spandler. Bowden. Chip down the line, looking for the overlapping Nellis, setting a real task, and I don't think she was ever likely to get that one. And we're going to see Graham introduced now. And Nellis looks like she's going to come off. So maybe just looking for a more attacking threat. Speed from the fullback position. Nellis, a very good defender, but more of a stopper. Graham perhaps offering a little more going forward.
And we see Launceston City bringing Fujimoto on. That's Fagan coming off for them. Had a good shift so far, Fagan, and second substitute will be Shannon Jones coming on. Very, very good work there from Kiara Walsh on that far side. So interesting changes from both sides, both changing some of their fullbacks. Not sure if that's due to fatigue, trying to keep some fresh legs for the second half. A lot of the action has come down the wings so far in this match.
Yeah, both teams have certainly got it wide. Hernick playing it back. O'Brien, it's been a rock so far for Zebras in defence. Puts this one out of play, but she's not put a foot wrong in defence as the captain, and of course set up the goal. So we're very happy with her work, I'd imagine. Chris Hayes, this one thrown along down the line. There is O'Brien again. Lets it run and swings it down the line again, just hugging that touch line. The wind is blowing to that side of the field, which is why we're seeing plenty of action across there. Burt again to O'Brien, door 8. Cook off her line will collect this for Mygrave. Could pounce. Again, gives it a fair old roost down the middle of the pitch. Two City players there. Stevenson didn't connect with the volleyed pass. It works out okay. Nichols, though, doing some good defensive work there. Zoe Nichols, and wins the ball back for a side. Now she looks to send them away. Threads it down the line for Barrier. Threads it looking for Bowden. But it was Malkin who was there for City to steer it away from the lurking Alyssa Bowden.
Well, certainly the most attacking position we've seen Bowden in all day. As I said, she's been occupying that defensive mid, but it seems Burt's now got that as we see the throw-in taken. Almost taken out there from the two centre-backs. Between the two of them, they eventually get there as Hernick and Sealjak, but it's been put out for a corner kick.
thought this was going to sit for DK. Siechka comes in from the blind side, makes a telling intervention again, and then Hernick shielded it well, the 2-on-1.
One shielding, one declared.
Nicely done. Georgia Burt across to take the corner. As you mentioned, they've been rotating Bowden and Burt, both capable in that deeper role and real versatility to that midfield. That's a real asset they have. So what can Georgia Burt produce again? We know they're a real threat from the set pieces. Oh, the Zebras. This one's curled in near post and deflected over the bar from close range. Oh, that was almost 2-0. A real chaos ball, if you like, as Burt swung this one in and deflecting off the knee and over the bar. That was not too far away.
I'd say that's a planned corner routine as well, with Bowden just sitting on that near post trying to get that change direction as it comes in, but just falling off the knee, maybe a bit too much pace on it. Another good chance from Zebras, especially from that corner kick, as we see Beth Bygrave on the ball, looks out wide for Hernick, but well cut out. Tom Nichols will play it inside to Burt. Got DK out on that right hand side, bit of a loose touch there eventually, and DK will pick that up as we tick into the 40th minute mark of this match. Maddie Graham out there at right back, plays inside to Spanler, the goal scorer. Got Hernick for company and well pressured, eventually gets it back. Spanler may end up with it, Bowden actually ends up with it, and DK will pressure, well cleared. The ball now falls to Maddie Bowden, who'll go all the way back to Shelley Cook, who's got plenty of time to smash this one forward and does that very well. Quite get the flick on the Nichols, but look at this battle down here on the near side. That's not quite a foul there. Thought that was a bit of a push in the back, but we'll see how we go as Mason goes back to Cook eventually.
Yeah, got away with a bit there, Chalet Malkin, but if you get away with it as a defender, you got to say well done. Very physical on Berry, who they've limited the influence of. So a player who could be the match winner laid back here for Stevenson. And must be something off the ball there, a bit of shirt grabbing perhaps.
First cheddar.
So we've got a sub here. Lapierre looks like she's set to be reintroduced.
Trying to see who that was a cheddar for. I think it might be Hernick out there. Yeah, Emily Hernick with the cheddar. That clearly an off the ball incident.
And she's now going to come off.
Yeah, that's insult to injury.
Yeah, not a great 30 seconds there for Emily Hernick.
Yeah, which probably shouldn't represent her previous 40 as she's been absolutely flying down that left wing so far, and in a well-earned 5-minute early start to half-time as we see Lapierre come back on after that very, very strong collision with Cook earlier. She'll stay out on that left-hand side. Thought Goldsmith might switch, but they're confident in Lapierre out the left-hand side as Bowden looks to flick it on. 2 players forward. That's a crucial challenge from Malkin. Keeper's not coming out for that one. And eventually cleared there from Hernick. Now to Goldsmith. It's a good physical challenge from Mason, but a bit too much of the player first before the ball. It'll be free kick to City and relieve the pressure from that attack there from Zebras.
Yeah, I thought when Lapierre went off, they just lost a little bit. City, she was their most lively threat in the opening stages of this one. Was really getting at them just before she got absolutely clobbered by Shelley Cook. She was having a real influence as Fujimoto works that one. Down the line they go, and now it's Goldsmith against Mason. Didn't want the foot race, so played in the Bygrave direction. Well done, Andy, but might just have let Caitlin Storey in. Bygrave with a heavy pass away. Must have been a touch off a City defender. Out of play it goes, but I'd love to get Storey and Bygrave on the ball in those advanced areas a little more.
I haven't had to call Storey's name much lately, as that was heading in the direction of Fujimoto, who manages to keep it in well. Cross comes in, looking near post. Bygrave with the header and Cook with a fantastic save. Still not quite cleared. Bygrave brings it down, but eventually cleared from Undy. That's a fantastic save from Cook. Bygrave at the near post, and that's lobbed in, and Cook will clean that one up. Great save there from Shelley Cook. Got down low really well. So have a look at the replay, and Bygrave with the head up. And nice kick clearance there. I was expecting it to go not quite straight at her, but did well there. As you see, Spandler picked the ball up, plays it inside to Bowden, looks for Burt. And back to Maddie O'Brien, who's passing here from Zebras. Ball's now forward. That's a nice turn. Now we've got Nichols in the middle. Looking again, and it's well cut out. It's a nice build up there, but Siljack read that all the way, and Maddie O'Brien will build up again. Absolutely slams it into Bowden. Not sure too much chance of controlling that one, and Cook will come out to clear that one, and that's held up in the wind. I thought that was going to end up here in the grandstand, and it's actually stayed in for DK, who'll play good pressure, and that one nearly has come straight to us.
Thought we were going to get a touch there, but just deflecting off the stand there.
I don't think
in no uncertain terms.
I don't think our man behind the scenes Ash was looking forward to that one coming up here. Didn't want to take it. Didn't have to take evasive action.
Fearing for his equipment, I think, as Kanagisa has two to deal with, and City will steer it away. Goldsmith getting a foot in with Spandler. Final minute before half time here. Will we see one last chance, or will it be Zebras who head into the sheds? A goal to the good, and with the Winds out there back in the second half. Here's Bygrave. She's been bustling as ever, trying to will her team forward. Wins it back here from Spandler and did it well, Bygrave. Then played it down the line. Somehow found a way through to Goldsmith. Store's bombed on here, but O'Brien did really well again. She's had an outstanding first 45, the Zebras captain.
Yeah, it's great covering defence from Maddie O'Brien. Saw that Mason was turned from that wonderful through ball and just came across and said, I can help you there. As the ball didn't quite get forward, as we see Lapierre get a first touch, but well cut out from Burt, who plays it forward to Nichols. Only got DK for company up top, and Bowden looks in that direction. It's a foot race between Siljack and DK. Will get there. She's in the box. Right foot shot over the bar. That's great hustle there from Kanagisa, but unfortunately just a bit too much venom on that shot.
Yeah,
it's a great ball from Bowden as well.
One of the few times Siegeka's been beaten today. It was a one-on-one. Kanagisa brilliantly nods it into her own path and then blasted it over the top. Just making too good a contact there in the end. Kanagisa couldn't keep it down, but had the beating of Siegeka. This one out of play as we tick into added time here in the first half. Kayla Mason with the throw in. Wants someone to present. No one really moving for it. Down the line she goes, and nodded out of play by Malkin. The Zebras will be happy to take the half-time whistle here. Mason again wondering where the option is. Not presented. She throws this one over the head of Kanagisa. Malkin wraps her foot around it. Fujimoto trying to get a touch in, but Burt gets back to recover it. Cleverly turns on the ball. She does that so well, Georgia Burt. She's won it back here, and now they might be away, Zebras. Perhaps the last chance before the break, but that'll be broken up at the back. Again, it's Goldsmith. Didn't really have anyone running. Sends it down the line. Bygrave and Storey there. It's Bygrave. Has she got goal side of Undy, who did just about enough. I think that's the last touch off Undy. Don't know about that one. I reckon Bygrave a bit stiff there. Seemed to have played it off for quite well, I thought.
Yeah, Bygrave seemed quite perplexed to that decision as well. Not appealing too hard, but I do feel that was off Undy last.
And that might be that for the first half. I don't think we have too much more added time here. Throwing down the line. Storey volleys it up in the air. Comes down to Spandler. Storey picking her pocket and then shields it back to Stevenson. Threads it through to Bygrave. Touch let in O'Brien, who clears the area. Hernick out off Kanagisa. And surely that will be that for the first half. Indeed it is. So Hobart Zebras through an early goal from Laura Spandler lead this one. It's been an intriguing contest. City have definitely had the better of it, but as we've mentioned ad nauseum, there is quite a strong wind, and that is a big factor. We'll find out how big a factor in the second half, but Zebras doing really well to be ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. That first 5 minutes, they really capitalised on all those chances. But as we've mentioned, Launceston City probably on the balance of play have certainly had better, and while the stats said there was only about 5 shots on goal, it certainly had a lot more attacking play than those stats indicate. We've seen both wingers for Launceston City, Hernick on one side, and then either Goldsmith on the right-hand side playing attacking positions, but that's a fantastic finish from Spanler. Just looking at the replay there. Overall, I'd say very even first half here, and plenty more to come in the second half. This game is not over by any stretch.
Yeah, it's been a really an arm wrestle in the middle of the park. I think both teams have done a good job of shutting down the key movers. I think Storey and Bygrave started to get involved later in the half, particularly Storey. Bygrave probably had the better first half, but Berry was quite well handled by City. They'd be quite happy in the way they've negated those players, but really it's a game that could go either way. Don't know how much of a factor. I really do think the win will be a big one in the second half, and Zebras, that's huge that they're ahead at the break. Spandler took the chance and they got the jump on them. I'm not sure if it was the occasion, but the first 5 minutes wasn't really representative of the first half we saw. It was all Zebras. They had them penned back. They were playing brilliant football, and it just took a little bit of time for City to grow into the game, and that's all it took for the 1-0 margin. As the half wore on, they got better. They had the chances, but as it stands now, it is the 16-game winning streak of Zebras that could well become 17 unless City can find a way to turn things around. We will be back shortly with the second half. We'll leave you with the replays of a pretty intriguing first 45. Cook showed a safe pair of hands.
Not given, actually, so play on there. Morris has got the ball, looking to try and beat Siejka, but again, that's great centre-back play, and eventually put out near post and nicely cut out. Ball down, and Lapierre, too much power on that one, so it goes out for a throw, and nearly
held her ground well and saves the day. Mason now battling with Lapierre, two speedsters on this wing, and Lapierre, I think, a little bit unlucky there. I thought she got clipped from behind. Lapierre threading it through for Caitlin Storey. Can she truck this one down? She does, and crosses, but couldn't keep it in the field of play. Behind it goes for the goal kick. Jarvis was the starting goalie that day, but the wind got up as Lapierre gets around Kayla Mason. She's off to the races here. Tracking back well was Mason, but she threaded it through for Fagan. Again, O'Brien tracking her and puts it behind though to try and produce something. Takes a touch. Now chips in near post. Cooks. Leans up a player there. I think it's Lapierre on the deck.
The player with no down to 10 metres. That's very good hassling there from Berry, but Sijak turns out of that well, but well cut out. Still got it looking forward again, but it's a good hard challenge. Ends up with it to Spandler, who ended up on the right wing, and then plays it out wide. Spandler, who's just ended up on this wing. There's a free player at the back post, but well cut out before getting there out for a Zebras throw-in.
3 goals, a couple of booming headers, one in particular from Ali Berry, and she might fancy this one. She volleys it, cleared off the line there. Away they go.
It's still in play. Eventually cleared from Sejak, and a nice catch from the gentleman in the crowd there, as we see Zebras looking to make. Again, this is a promising position. It's about the 3rd time in a row they've attacked down here, and Hernick looks to play it in, and Cook just gathers that one up nicely. No chance of that one slipping through.
Shelley Cook just lets it get away from her. The wind picks it up, and is that going out for a corner? Not. There's it down the line. Hernick again, chips it in the Fagan direction, flick on it. Goldsmith's lurking. An offside flag had been raised though.
Plays it forward to Fagan, who's running in on goal. It's Fagan. Undy comes across with a good use of the body there, just to nudge Fagan off it.
Yeah, well done. It was looking promising. And Undy to the rescue as the free kick is blown there. It's a little bit soft, but just
correction. No, plays it to the near side here with Zoe Nichols running in, takes control, and that's brave goalkeeping. Back out wide to Kanagessa, who tries to play it around the Launceston City defender, but eventually right into the arms of Brown, who had that brain necessarily mean it, and that throw-in's taken a big hit with the wind. Bygrave looks to chip the keeper and off the crossbar. A fantastic attempt.
Away, threads it down the line for Berry, threads it looking for Bowden. But it was Malkin who was there for City to steer it away from the lurking.
It's now got that as we see the throw-in taken. Almost taken out there from the 2 centre-backs. Between the two of them, they eventually get there. As Hernick and Siljak, but
we know they're a real threat from the set pieces. Oh, the Zebras. This one's curled in near post and deflected over the bar from close range. Oh,
won't get the flick on the neck, but look at this battle down here on the near side. That's not quite a foul there. Thought that was a bit of a push in the back, but we'll see how we... Keeper's not coming out for that one. And eventually cleared there from Hernick. Now to Goldsmith. It's keeping well. Cross comes in, looking near post. Bygrave with the header and Cook with a fantastic save. Still not quite cleared. Bygrave brings it down, but eventually cleared. That's a fantastic save from Cook. Bygrave at the near post, and that's lobbed in, and Cook will clean that one up. Great save there. Now we've got Nichols in the middle. Looking again, it's well cut out. It's a nice build up there, but Siljak read that all the forward to Nichols. Only got TK for company up top, and Bowden looks in that direction. It's a foot race between Siljak and TK. Will get there. She's in the box. Right foot shot over the bar. That's great hustle there from
turn it down a little bit. That's really, really loud. So back here for the second half between Hobart Zebras and Launceston City. Laura Spanlagal has got the Zebras in the prime position to win this one and extend their winning streak. But City certainly had their chances, had more of them in fact, as the half wore on, and they'll fancy themselves heading into this one. Funty, what do you think City need to do to get the equaliser?
Just keep playing like pretty much they did that last half hour. It was good attacking press. They've been really solid at the back, I think, Siljak, and have been really solid down the back. I just think it's putting those chances away, be it Fagan, be it Bygrave, who's had a couple of good chances on goal. That's pretty much all they need to do. It's pretty simple, but it's just put the ball in the back of the net.
And it's Morris looking to make early inroads here. Crosses dealt with by Siejka. Stevenson away. Here's Lapierre, who's resumed her position on the right where she started before she was collected by Shelley Cook early in the half there.
And she looked really dangerous for a good portion before that incident. So I think, and just that pace, so you were talking it before, it's the first time I've seen her play in person. She's got some great pace that they'll hope to exploit down this side.
Bygrave and Mason. Bygrave shielding and then turning. Lays it back. Fagan for Lapierre. She jinks back inside. It's good ball movement here as Fagan gets around Bowden. Oh, couldn't pick out Storey. Just a basic error and it breaks down. It was a nice build up till that moment. Kanagiza dispossessed by Siejka and then just goes with the spear tackle on Storey. That's a couple of weeks in the NRL anyway. It's a free kick Zebra's way.
Yeah, fairly obvious foul there from DK. I mean, just good hustle to get the ball. Technique, about a 1 out of 10.
And look, not a bad option in the end. Didn't give away the card, so probably allowed to get it back. Is Georgia Burt sends this one in. Brown off a line, collects. She loops it over the top for Kiara Walsh. Down the line for Hernick. And Graham has remained on there as the fullback in place of Nellis.
And just scanning the field for any changes at a half time. It looks pretty much the same. As we see Bygrave on the ball. Plays it out wide, but that should be cleared by O'Brien, who plays it short to Nellis. Again, sorry, my apologies. That's Maddie Graham still out here at right back. And eventually cleared from Siljak, who plays it inside. Nice ball forward, but Kayla Mason should be able to cut that out. Just a bit misplaced there, but Undy and Cook between them should be able to figure that one out, and they do. False Nichols, who looks in the direction of Berry charging forward from that attacking midfield position, but couldn't quite get there, as we see, and I guess a player through ball, but should be well cut out there from Brown. Just looking for some options here, Brown, and a few concerns over the goal kicks with the wind. Not there. That's a great kick, and Mason plays it forward to Bowden. It's now a foot race down this left-hand side between. Hernick just gets there in time. It's a good run there for Morris out on the left wing. It's a bright start from Zebras again. They just come out of the blocks really quickly. Both halves so far.
Throw into the box and just getting there, but unable to keep it in was Kanagiza. Interesting throwing technique, Carter Mason. Just rolled a little wrist spinner from her, I think.
Yeah, a little bit of a
flick.
Just a bit of an off-spinner type flick there.
Yeah, real Murley type stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't quite go full illegal like Murley. As we see that goal kick taken from Brown, doesn't quite clear the first Zebras defender. We've actually just seen Kanagiza move, I think, to that target man or target woman role up in centre forward there. Bit of a change this half.
Yeah, Zoe Nichols not on the pitch anymore. Morris, Spanler, Kanagiza the front three again. So Graham on for Nellis, the only change from how they started the game. There's a bit of a physical duel there, and Berry was infringed, although Not entirely sure Lapierre agrees.
No, I'm not sure of that either.
So a chance for Maddie O'Brien to send one in. And she's normally a real threat over the dead ball.
And Launceston City have, I think, reverted back to their original formation as well, as Emily Hernick's back on this left wing and Goldsmith's back on the bench.
So O'Brien, a bit of a floater into the middle, away by Kiara Walsh. Nodded on there by Lapierre. Mason got in ahead of Fagan, read the intent well. Here's Morris. It's the turn back. It's Malcolm for company. Cross comes Brooke Hernick. She sends it down the line again for Malkin. Mason was there. Some tidy little passing from the Zebras through the middle. It might just release Berry if she can get there before Brown. She just got there first, the keeper. Beat Berry to the ball. She's got to scramble back onto the line. She hasn't recovered in time. Kanagiza wouldn't sit for her. And eventually Hernick, Marshall, that one away. That was a real moment of danger there.
I think that was Kiara Walsh who actually got that in there. As you see, Ali Berry storming through from attacking mid. Not too much in that. Brown coming out well. And then this chip ball. I think that was just a general centering cross. But yeah, that is Kiara Walsh coming across there just to take it off the feet of Kanagiza.
Yeah, I'm not sure Brown should have been worrying about the hat there, sitting on the deck and picking that one back up. I'd be suggesting get back into 6-yard box would be the priority.
Yeah, I think you can claim that in about 10 seconds later.
Yeah, not the cricket rules with 5 runs spent out on the field. Don't worry about that. You just get back on your line. This one falls to Bygrave in the middle, and there's a foul spotted there.
That's one of my favourite niche cricket rules, that one, especially when it hits the helmet behind the keeper.
This one's chipped forward by Siege Cup. Flicked on by Bygrave. Storey taking up quite an advanced position early in this half. They're really looking to get her involved in the final third. Threads it through, looking for the pace of Lapierre, but Mason's got plenty of toe herself, and she gets there first to steer it out of play.
Again, that battle has resumed already 5 minutes into this half. Lapierre versus Mason. It's been enthralling down that side there as Lapierre takes the throw in short, but eventually Mason will clear. Just looking to play the 1-2 with Fagan. There's a different option this time, but again, doesn't get the return ball. Falls to Morris, plays a nice turn, but gets the deflection. Actually, no, that's overruled the assistant referee's decision, so it's a Launceston City throw. And it's a flick on header from Fagan, and it's actually given a corner, so it just flicked off Undy after that. So good pressure from Launceston City, just penning Zebras in this corner. We'll see what Beth Bygrave can do from this corner. Launceston City getting plenty in the box. So we've got 6 in there already.
Zonal marking system from Zebras.
Oh, that's always dangerous.
Let's see. This one's crossed in right to the mixer. Clawed away by Cook. Just about dealt with it. Oh, that wasn't a good clearance, but not punished there by Bygrave. Simulate the contact she was after. It slides past the post. So any step from Mason then. Clearing the ball with much conviction.
Don't know if it's just me, I'm always wary of zonal marking from corners. And look at that, there's 3 Zebras players right there. Unfortunately, Cook can just get out in time.
If you do it right, zonal marking should work, but it only takes one person to miss an assignment. There's a free kick line against Storey there, who's not particularly pleased with that decision.
No, not at all. Does relieve some of the pressure from before. Should we see what that was for on the replay?
Elbow in the back, I think,
okay.
But for me, it was just 2 players going at the ball. Storey probably right to be aggrieved. Tends to always go against the one in back position there.
Yeah, advantage to the person in front. It's the best free kick from Maddie O'Brien. Probably the worst pass she's had all day. Bygrave picks it up, but great challenge. And now the break is on with Spanler down this right-hand side. Got 2 in the box for company. Finds Kanagiza in the middle, but it's absolutely slammed at her foot. Not the easiest one to control that, and just deflects out for a goal kick.
Yeah, hit with some real pace here by Spanler, and Kanagiza just straight off the shin, I think. Couldn't quite direct that one. This one's just turned over rather unnecessarily. Without pressure at the back there, and Zebras get the ball in a good position.
And Sealjak immediately apologising for that one.
Yeah, he did.
So the throw in taken. And eventually delivered back. Good ball in direction of Berry, but over her head. Trying to clear it there from Hernick, but slams it into her own player. Falls to Berry outside the box. It takes a shot. Straight at the keeper, Brown, though. A good purchase on it. It's been a slight different direction there, but a first shot on target for this half, 10 minutes in.
Oh, and poor goal kick straight down the throat of Spanler. Couldn't get past Siejka, though, who's been fantastic at the back today. Next Siejka. Here's Storey. Oh, jinx around Graham quite nicely there. Looks to turn back onto the right. Wants to link up with Bygraham. Oh, again beats Graham. It's a once, twice. Couldn't get past Georgia Burt, though. Who's done a fine role on negating in midfield today.
He's beat the whole team, is Caitlin Storey there.
Well, she's been known to do it, to be fair to her. Walsh free in space, but instead they went centrally in the Hernick direction, steered away. Berry picks it up. And now Beth Bygrave gets on the ball. And she threads something. That's a lovely ball over the top for Lapierre. Cook's come, shipped over the top. O'Brien back, needs to clear. And got a header. And then Cook slips on the ball. A comedy of errors there, but Lapierre couldn't quite execute the chip. What a brilliant ball that was from Beth Bygrave.
She can laugh about it now, Cook, but that was a very interesting decision to come out for that, given the pace of Lapierre. It was a beautiful ball from Bygrave. But, yeah, got away with one there, I think, the Zebras.
Now Bygrave in a pocket of space. Fancied a shot, but didn't execute it. And perhaps the pass was the option. Lapierre was open. Storey just having a word with her then. Just going, look, we've still got 35 minutes. No need to be panicking yet. This is a lovely ball.
Magic.
Just didn't get the purchase she was after, which allowed O'Brien to get back. And kept her head quite well there, O'Brien, with two green shirts around her.
Comedy from out here and now up in the commentary booth here as you see Cook take that one short to O'Brien. Got Burt centrally or Spanler long. Going in the direction of Spanler for her to run onto. It's a foot race down this right hand side. Spanler so far having the better in the crossing position. Manages to get it in, but a good clearing header there from Sealjak. Now Berry inside the box looking for some space. Hasn't got too many options here. Again, good hustling defence. Eventually gets round as Ali Berry and wins the free kick. That was a fantastic piece of skill down in the corner from Ali Berry. Didn't too much to aim for. Unfortunately, the infrastructure of KGV gets in the way of that back heel nutmeg.
Yeah, got round Siejka well there. Berry starting to get on the ball a little more in this half. Was well held in the first 45, but not a player who's often shut out for the full 90 and could still have a major impact on this one. Alyssa Bowden standing over the dead ball. What can she conjure up? She chips it dangerously, headed away, not terribly convincingly. Shooting the ball with Spanler, worked it back for Bird. A heavy touch allowed Bygrave to clear. Now Morris is out after this and it'll elude her. And the throw in will go her way. Someone needs to offer short here.
Now, unless she's Rory DeLapp, I don't think any of them are going to, but eventually someone offers short, but taken away immediately, and the break is on down this right-hand side. Fagan looking to run onto it, but the ball will just beat her in running out of play.
Looks like Jess Harris about to be introduced for the Zebras. Might come on Spanler or Morris, I'd imagine, would be the likely replacement there.
Kick those, we see the throw in taken, Fagan chasing down Undy. Does well, but Undy shielding the ball expertly, plays it back to the centre back partner in O'Brien, who launches that one clear. Probably with the wind, we'll run out for a throw in, and I think that's time for the sub.
It's going to be Kanagiza, so the third member of the front three. The only one who hasn't been rotated yet. She'll make way, and I suppose Spandler might move centrally now. Harris usually plays out on the right.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happened, and so he's just confirmed that down there, so we'll see Jess Harris on the right-hand side.
Hobart Zebras coming on, Jessica Harris.
Harris a chance to get involved immediately if there was the early release. She just caught a yard there on Kiara Walsh on this near side to us, and look at this storm off as O'Brien picks it up.
She's got good pace, does Jess Harris, as you see that inside run there from her and nicely cut out, but Jess Harris will still go. Well, that one very well cut out from probably the player of the match so far in Siege Cup. Siege, I should say.
Siege Cup.
I'll get there.
You'll get there eventually, Funty.
I will. It's only been 60 minutes so far.
Had to say her name, Funny. She's been heavily involved as this one will go her way again. And Siege go with a lovely little pass there to Kiara Walsh. Hernick, a likely target. In that direction, the pass just eludes her though. And now the flag goes. 30 minutes for City to find an equaliser. The Zebras' unbeaten run continue. You go with Siege player of the match. I'd go the opposing centre back. I reckon Maddie O'Brien's been fantastic for Zebras in this one. She throws this one to Undy. Well, it's good to vote the player of the match, so I'll probably have to make up my mind on that one next half out. As Mason picks this one up. And she keep it in. She does. Looking to storm forward. Oh, well done by Malkin. Just disrupted it. Now Morris looking to turn Hernick. The Windle picked up that one and just took it over the byline before she could do anything with it.
A normal pitch, that would have held up quite nicely. It's just picked up at the exact moment she took that touch to head forward, but 60 minutes gone so far. It's been fairly even this half. As we'll see, Brown actually deferred the goal kicking duty here to Siege Cup. Will have to put her foot through this one and does, but unfortunately right to the foot of Ali Berry. It's a nice touch. It's a good midfield battle. She's just caught one in the back there after playing. Not sure. I don't think that was intentional, but see Undy and Fagan battling for it as well. Mason just mispasses it to Bygrave, who's busy directing traffic. It's going to end up back to Bygrave, and it will. Again, hasn't got too many options, but finds Lapierre on the right-hand side. So we look to cut inside. Got Fagan up ahead, but looks to play the reverse ball, and that's a little bit of fresh air from Undy. I think that'll all end up well and end up for a goal kick.
Well, they've handled Keelan Fagan pretty well today. Zebras' defence. Not seen too many flashes from the youngster. He's a real goal scorer. Handled her threat very well, the pairing of O'Brien and Undy as Cook pulls out the pitching wedge and sends this one into the middle. Hernick barged into there by Morris, and that was picked up before Ali Berry could set off on her way. It's trying a bit of space in behind there.
Yeah, as we're talking, Fagan's been well shut down from the Zebras centre-backs again. The work on Ali Berry, closing up has been similar. Getting a little bit more into play this second half, but hasn't probably quite had the impact she would have liked on this game, as that's going forward, but hit by the head of Burt, and Ali Berry gets on the ball. Undy picks it up. It's in the direction of Spanler, who'll try to find Harris, and eventually does. Turn back. Looking for Burt, but that's good tracking back from Hernick, who'll win the throw in. As you can see, that wind is certainly blowing a gale down there. Nice control and thumped forward in the direction of Spanler, but that will flow right through to the keeper. This will probably come straight back in that direction, I think.
And Brown punches it in the middle. Bygrave's touch went straight to Harris, but she recovered it. And now threads it for Kiara Walsh. Hernick's on down the line. She waits the pass perfectly for her. Hernick now. First time ball for Storey. And Bowden just gave her a little nudge there and worked her off her line. Very clever stuff from Bowden.
Very clever. I could see that coming a mile up here and just did enough. Not too forceful to cause the foul, but just enough for that heavy touch of Storey.
Yeah, subtle stuff, and she's done a really good job, Bowden, in negating Storey's influence, much as Stevenson has in shackling Berry, as you were mentioning before, Fonty.
We see that on replay again. Yeah, just enough before the ball got there. So the free kick taken from Bygrave. Doesn't matter what section of the pitch. He's the designated free kick taker for this team, and got 5 forward so far for Lonnie City. Sends this one in centrally, but O'Brien just doesn't quite get the clearance. Hernick ends up on it, and that's good covering defence, and eventually out for a Launceston City corner.
Rare error from O'Brien, but well covered by Matty Graham there. Closing down Hernick, who's unable to shape the shoot there. Didn't quite sit for her.
Nah, didn't quite sit for Hernick. Been very impressed with Matty Graham so far this half. Yeah, everyone enjoying the food van over there in the corner.
Great walk to place, tucking into a pizza. I look forward to doing likewise when this one finishes. This one's swung in. Mason heads it back only as far as Walsh. Oh, well done again. Graham and Harris conspired to see it away. And this one rolls over the byline. I thought for a moment Walsh had the opening.
Walsh can absolutely put a foot through that, but again, it's just not quite sitting for Launceston City. About there, yeah. Graham again.
The door shut just in time.
Taken short from Cook to Undy. Forward to Mason, who'll try and find Bowden. Wanting that to run on, but it's a good covering defence from Hernick. Will play it forward, direction of Fagan, who just touches it down for Bygrave. Oh, my apologies, that was the error on the wing there. Just getting a little scrappy here, but Launceston City, they're having the better of play so far. Zebras haven't quite managed to get that searching through ball I think they're certainly looking for in the attacking third. You see that hit down the line, and Fagan can't quite keep that one in.
Yeah, going against the wind, but doing well. City have continued to control the contest, you'd have to say. They've had a better moments. But most telling of moments came just 5 minutes in. Morris Bandler looming as the match winner. Unless City can find something in these final 24 minutes. They've got a chance here. Sends it down the line. Again, Undy clattering in there on Fagan and wins the throw in too. Very nicely done, Monique Undy.
Yeah, very nicely done there from Undy, shutting down Fagan at every possible opportunity. So we see Mason take the throw in down the wing in the direction of Morris, but not quite in the purchase on that one, and eventually he deflected off. Morris for a Launceston City throw. Just taking time and getting the ball back, as the spare one doesn't appear to be over there this half. Probably disappeared down the creek somewhere there in half time. Wouldn't be the first time, I'd assume. So taken down the line, and Bygrave gets a good flick on header. And we should see the counter attack of the Zebras here. And Jess Harris down the right wing, and well cut out from Walsh. He'll get that return ball from the defensive partner, Herniak, who gets it on the left hand side, and foul given by Graham before there. Let's have a look. Yeah, Matty Graham just leaving the foot in there after the pass was complete, as we'll see. It looks like a triple sub. Judging by the look there, I think only Hernick's coming off. Well, Launceston City, be replaced by Goldsmith, so a similar sub was made in the first half.
Canagiza and Nichols lurking there for Zebras, so I'd imagine a change coming in the front three for Zebras. They've rotated them through, but they'll wait till after this Beth Bygrave free kick. She'll look to swing this one into the mixer. Storey, a likely target. It goes in that direction. Storey! Cook did really well. Got down and covered it. It was a beautiful free kick from Beth Bygrave. Placed perfectly for Storey, who made good contact, but couldn't beat Shelley Cook. And now at the other end, it's Zebras who are on. It's Morris chipping it in the Spandler direction. Harris also there. Spandler volleyed it first time. Might fall for Morris. Takes a touch. Harris back to Spandler again. Siejka blocks it. Now it's Bowden charging through. All hands on deck at the back for City, and they defend it well. Back the other way they come. Lapierre can't get round Mason. Corralda nicely. Chipped forward again. It's Undy getting there ahead of Fagan. She's done really well today, but City have won it back. It's the lively Lapierre on it. Turns back, wants some support. Bodies behind the ball, so they just whack it down the line. It's a good ball too. Cross from Fagan, blocked off. And Bowden's clearance eludes everyone out of play. End-to-end stuff here, Funty.
Absolutely, intensity's just lifting here in the 70th minute. We have a look at that ball again from Bygrave. We were right in front of that here in the commentary box. It was absolutely beautiful, and Storey, I think they've just been put off by potentially the player in front of her, but Cook gets down well, and we'll just have a break of that there for the sub being made. Zoe Nichols coming back on.
Spandler and Morris replaced by Canagiza.
So that's the kind of very, very good sub you can make. Being Canagiza back on. Just having a little 5-10 minute breather and bang to run at the centre backs once again. So we see Launceston City back on the ball. Bygrave picks it up. Sends a cross in the direction of Fagan, who will look to touch it down. But well cleared from Matty O'Brien off the corner flag and out for a throw in.
City would have thought they had the corner there. Very stiff.
Very, very stiff. I think we can thank the wind for that one.
Yes. The throw in far less of a threat than a Beth Bygrave corner. Zebras be very happy with that result. Fagan, the recipient. Well done, Mason, to shut down Lapierre. It's been an arm wrestle between those two all day. Storey presenting short, but again Fagan the target, just laid it off. Goldsmith now curling it. It's Stevenson who's bobbed up top, so they really are pushing players on now, City. This one deflects off Walsh. Knocks her down, but she gets back to her feet through the legs of Berry from Stevenson, showing strength. And Berry concedes the foul on the edge of the area. And this is in Bygrave territory.
That is in absolute Bygrave territory, and that is certainly the most far forward we've seen Stevenson here this match. Certainly, I mean, judging by that, doing almost a man marking job on that. Deflection's a very kind word, that, for Walsh. It's absolutely smacked square in the chest. And possibly shoulder to shoulder, but
bit soft.
Yeah, look at that, Bygrave territory. There's a nice big gap there in the top corner, just waiting to be hit.
There she go, up and over the wall. Beth Bygrave steps up and curls it. Goalwood. Cook gets across and keeps it out decisively. Bygrave might get another crack. She volleys and it's dipping, but straight into the red basket of Cook again.
Oh, look, we sized that up here in the commentary box, that top corner. It's exactly where Beth Bygrave wanted to go, but Cook read it as well as we did and gets there and gives the post a bit of a don't argue after it.
Well, again, it's City knocking on the door and Shelley Cook saying no entry. She did it the last time they met, and once again she's proving decisive in net as Canagiza. Can she get there again? Siegegut with a telling touch to steer it away. 18 minutes to play. Still the Zebras lead by that one goal from Spandler very early on.
I think there's some restless people in the crowd here every time Zebras get their goal bombarded. There's a few shrieks, so the fans would like a bit more than a 1-goal advantage heading into the last 20 minutes as we see Fagan put the ball up and play it back. It ends up being a return ball. Probably got caught in the wind there, and Fagan turns nicely to get around Undy, but covering defence behind the Zebras. Bygrave on the ball again, but can't quite find Fagan. Interesting to see if Launceston City have a sub soon. More attacking fresh legs, but we'll see Bowden on the ball with Graham out wide. Plays it back to O'Brien. 4 or 5 players down this right-hand side, and finds Graham, who's got 2 ahead of up. Plays it in short to Nichols. It's again good covering defence from Siegegut, who went out of play.
Siegegut now, Funty.
Oh, look.
You're loving this name, mate.
I am absolutely loving it.
So this one's laid back to O'Brien. Chip forward in the Walsh direction. And that will be a free kick. I've got to say, whilst the wind's changed a little bit, more of a cross breeze now, but it's still favouring Zebra slightly. All the play is going City's way. They're the ones who seem to be running downhill at the moment.
Yeah, it's certainly happening that way, and also, I guess, happened in the first half with Zebras scoring down what you'd think would be the non-wind affected end, but you see Bygrave just directing traffic. I love to see that from the centre midfielder. Return from Goldsmith, but just runs it out of play with 15 minutes to go. See Fujimoto warming up on the Launceston City bench. To play, and Graham tries to find Harris, but Bygrave cuts it out, and Harris goes, I'm having that, and takes it back. Graham plays it forward looking for Nichols. So now the two number 8s getting involved down this flank. Bygrave just gets in time. There's no foul given. It was a bit of a kick after play, but Bygrave sends it back into Fagan, who's hustled out of it by Undy, and that's a fairly clear trip.
Jeez.
I think they have had a couple of other players in the area, so not the worst shout in the world. Very actually, on reflection. I thought Bygrave was a little closer to the play. That's gone over the head. And I guess he's in. Looks to chip the keeper, but can't quite wrap a foot around it for a goal kick. Going to watch that Launceston City on the break. Certainly plenty of pace up front for the Zebras.
Yeah, with 15 minutes to go, they're going to have to start throwing bodies forward. And there's going to be those openings in behind for the likes of Harris and Kanagiza, who've got pace in behind. Certainly Zoe Nichols, an ever-present threat. She gets on the ball here, looking to turn. Surrounded by a City shirt, so squares it. Here's a chance for Georgia Burt. Well blocked again. It was Hernick this time. Some confusion between her and Goldsmith as to who goes, and then just played down the line by Hernick. And Ryan's there. She'll just run it out of play for some reason. It'll be a throw in for City. Sure, she got her way through that one terribly well, but City will get the throw in. Here's a lovely little throw on the first time cross. Will elude Lapierre and lands in the path of Mason. And City recover the ball in midfield. It's Malkin up against Kanagiza. Down the line. Stevenson wants it in the middle. Let's go that direction. Berry across. Now Siegeka. Touch off Kanagiza. Stevenson and Berry. Two physical customers, and Kanagiza now looking to get in behind Siegeka. Did so, then plays it in the path of Nichols. She's got Harris in acres of space if she can get it to her. Hauled down, but that's a great foul to give. Had to do it, Hernick. And free kick in a good area, but if she didn't do that, it would have been a prime chance for Harris. So smart decision to go the rugby tackle. Just knew she had to stop her at any cost.
That is a very smart defensive foul there from Hernick. Jess Harris, as we could see up here in the commentary, was within an acre of space on this right-hand side. Walsh was desperately trying to get back there, but look, the fact that's not a cheese, you'd even take a cheese in that situation as well.
I'm surprised it isn't, to be honest, with the foul she simply had to give. Ali Berry, to say it is all for nothing. What can Berry do from the set piece? 13 minutes to go. The second goal here would surely seal it. Can she conjure up a bit of magic to seal the statewide cup? It's Ali Berry. She steps up and curls it just past the post. Wasn't far away.
Judging from where that's hit on the fence there, I can't imagine that's gone too far wide. So the referees quick chat down in the corner. Not sure what that could be about. Assistant referees possibly seen something or heard something.
Not entirely sure what's going on here. Conversation.
Actually, I think that's now the fourth official as well, who the number 1 referee is now chatting to, not in the customary position in halfway. Maybe something happening on the Launceston City bench.
I'm not sure if something's been said here.
Someone has been sent off the bench.
Someone's being sent. Oh, the spectators are creating their nexus. We try and get our camera down there. Just hidden away there. Oh, lovely camera work there, Bluster. There's only so much you can do. That's about as good as you're going to get. There's a very deep conversation. I can only imagine someone.
I see Walter's now moved away from the chip van to get down there, so we may actually have to ask him after the match what's going on here. As someone's been told to leave the bench.
City official must have said something, because she has been told to get out of there. I'm not sure this is helping her team a whole lot, just taking the sting out of the contest. And
she's hopped over the fence.
As long a stoppage as this is, it never seems to quite get made up in out of time.
It really
so I'm not sure she's helping things for her side here.
No, and the representative on the bench from Launceston City has done a peek Arsene Wenger and is sitting merely the next, just right over the top there. Shades of when he was sent off at Old Trafford all those years ago. I wish Jake Morgan was here so we could rub that in even more.
Yeah, he'd be the one to get that reference. You've lost me there as Goldsmith charges off down the flank here, and Graham for company. Graham did well defensively, but I can only imagine someone said something about maybe a lack of that yellow card and made their feelings perhaps a bit too well known. And anyway, we've moved on from that, and O'Brien should sweep across in defence and let this one run. That she does. So we tick towards the final 10 minutes. Still 1-0 Zebras.
Well, I had this as a tight arm wrestle. I was expecting a few more goals, particularly given the chances that have happened so far. This is going to be a very exciting last 10 minutes. This Cook is not quite taking her time it's had with the goal kick, just starting to tick those seconds down. Launches it long to the near side direction of Harris, but Bygrave gets up well. Gets that one out. The throw in, which will be taken by Graham. To launch long, Harris offered short, so over her head, well picked up. And Bird eventually finds Nichols, who plays it to Bowden. Ali Berry in an acre of space, but Siejka heads that one out well. Again, Bowden just taken out of it. Fagan almost through, and Nick Undy sticks out that long right leg and says, I'm having that. Lapierre takes it off the foot of Mason. Down this right-hand side, this fantastic foot race that's been happening all game so far. Eventually Mason wins, hits it towards DK, who'll win the throw in, and Mason will jog a bit slower to take this one.
Gee, she's been good, Monique Undy at the back today. She's made so many of those last-ditch challenges, just gets a foot in. She shackled Fagan and just shut that one down when it was looking promising. She's been absolutely immense at the back, Monique Undy. Fagan the target, won't get her as the header Mason was there. Here's Stevenson looking to drive her side forward. Lapierre turning, and then Berry read it and put it out of play. Not too long left.
To see the throw in taken, couldn't quite clear the header Mason.
Some Knights fans just striding down there past the creek with a megaphone. They're up and about for the next one.
I see a megaphone and I see a drum. It's going to be an interesting Launceston LJ Cup final after this, but no need to worry about that. It's all hands on deck for Launceston City as they make another sub with Fagan coming off.
Fujimoto on.
Fujimoto back on. That is... I was going to say, if you're going to have a power ranking of top knots in either competition, that is an absolute killer top knot from Fujimoto. There's 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. That's a fair rating. Lundy sweeps this one away. And Zebras hold on. One of our voters in the best on, just give me their votes. We hope there's not an equaliser yet.
Yeah.
Could be a bit premature. But we'll see in the moment. As this one is down the line. Here's Storey. Again, Undy was good. Storey. O'Brien away. They're under siege, but they're holding on. This is really reminiscent of the last time they met. It's been a very similar game. Another sub here. It's going to be Harris off for the fresh legs of Spandler, who is looming as the match winner.
Still looming as the match winner. Short shift there from Jess Harris, but very well done from the other fantastic people in the world, born on the 22nd of April 1992, as we see that throw in.
Taking your birthday party, is it?
Gee, it'd be funny to know that, wouldn't it?
Jeez. Very obscure reference if it wasn't. It's all right. A foul throw's been called. That is killer. Oh, coach killer, that is.
That is in coach killer territory.
Mason says, thank you very much. I'll have that. Kanagiza. She might just punt this long. Does in the Zoe Nichols direction. Oh, lovely little ball into the middle off. Fujimoto read it well. Oh, the referee helps out Zebras a treat and gives it to Georgia Burt. Silver service there. She might get caught from behind here by Lapierre. Didn't have the peripherals working there. There was Undy. flying in his Lapierre, body's on the line, and she wins a free kick. Committed and gets the decision. And another chance for Bygrave to do something.
Another chance for Bygrave to whip that one in. I was watching the instructions from Chris Hay to his players. It was using two arms in an outward direction, just make kick it to the touchline whenever they get the chance. So they're certainly in defensive mode at the moment as Zebras, and they'll have to be on their best defensive work here to keep out this Bygrave free kick.
Bygrave's in the box. They've changed kick takers. They want a goal scoring threat. Story just over her head. Away by Graham, a bit of an up and under. Fujimoto. Bygrave tried to volley it. Story's bustling through. Suspicions of handball, nothing doing. Everyone forward here. Fujimoto chips it. And Cook will get it. And you've got 20 players just in about a 10-yard vicinity at the top of the box there. Remarkable stuff. And Cook's just going to eat up the seconds and say, come get it, Caitlin Story.
That's not far away, is Caitlin Story. And Beth Bygrave, I'm not sure if he was put off having Bygrave in front of her, but we'll see Cook thump that one clear. Look at that for a kick. You'll see Erniak looks to get that touch pressured from Nichols, but gets it away effectively. That foot race on the far side between Mason and Lapierre again. But we'll see that one cleared. And eventually Ali Berry.
No idea how we're going to fit the three more media people going for the next game here, Fundy. This stand is just about overflowing. They are crammed into KG5. What a game they've witnessed. Here's Berry now charging down the left. Puts a cross in. Looking for Spandler. Took a touch. Steered away. City clear the area. Nichols might pounce on this. They should be able to clear. Walsh does just that. Only as far as Graham. Storey is practically playing as a striker out. They've gone, we need our best players in attack, and Storey and Bygrave are playing as strikers.
Yeah, Launceston City have gone the potent 85th minute football manager tactic of 4-2-4 here. Let's see if that'll pay off as we see Walsh down this left-hand side. Misses the header, but should be able to control. Keeps it inside. Does well again. Got to get this forward. Only as far as Graham. Still on the ball, Graham plays it back to O'Brien. Good pressure. Played under Bowden, but who eventually gets it clear. Lovely through ball to Spandler. It's 3v2. Down here, Spandler running into the box. He's got all the time in the world. Can't quite get the centre across. Seajack with an absolutely fantastic challenge in the end. Launceston City look to go forward. Through ball tried to play down the wing, but O'Brien just taps that one out for a throw as we tick over 86 minutes in this one.
Another big contest won by Seasker at the back. She's been immense. And another final swap perhaps here is Malkin being replaced.
I think that's Shannon Jones coming on.
Shannon Jones, so not long left now for City. It is kitchen sink time and they're throwing it. Can they break through? Matty O'Brien. Bygrave Fresta. This spins out of play. Tremendous Beth Bygrave. Trying to get a side over the line. Haven't quite been able to find the goal. Still Zebras holding on. It's like they're teetering on the edge of a cliff, but they're just hanging on.
Just hanging on.
They're down to one finger, but they're holding on for dear life. Here's Bygrave. Onto the left. Centering ball, no one there. And it rolls out of play for a relieving goal kick.
Yeah, Lapierre had just made a run towards the penalty spot and needed someone to overlap her on the far post, and she's on running out for that one, and gives that one to Shelley Cook, who probably personally would have let that one keep running, but sportsmanship there on Cook, who is still in no hurry to take this.
Still unable to get the ball perfectly on the spot there, Cook. What a trouble she's having there.
Yeah, what a pity.
How unfortunate.
The wind.
And she belts this one down the middle. Light fall for Zoe Nichols. Took a touch. Took it wide. One back though. Out of play. Which way's the throw? It's Zebras. There'll be in absolutely no rush here.
Good pressure there from Nichols, and Mason picks it up. Didn't take as long as there's a Zebras player on the ground is who that was intended for, but Dika actually picks the ball back up and now sprints past Jones on the left-hand side and is going to the corner flag. Yeah, nicely defended there from Jones, and good experience from Canadissa out there on the wing. And straight to the corner.
That's what you want. No need to be putting crosses in. Just try and keep it in this corner for as long as possible here in the final few minutes. It's going to be eventually taken by Mason. Again with the off spinner. Hands it in. Brown should be able to collect. And she'll look to get her moving. Brown just launches it into the middle. Over the head of Bygrave. Over the head of Burt. Storey bustling through. Monique Undy has been a wall. Back to O'Brien. They're clearing everything that comes their way. They just want to get it out of there. Lapierre. Oh, she sold Jones short there, and that'll eat up precious seconds.
And almost tick it over the 90s. We see Mason frankly strolling over to get that one. We've got too many options, so I'm assuming this will go straight down the line as it does. DK picks that one up, checks inside, beats Jones and wins a free kick. And it'll eat up more precious seconds.
Yeah, good decision. DK doing the sporting thing and staying on her feet. Not what the situation called for at all. Should have spectacularly hit the deck and rolled around for 30 seconds. But gets the decision anyway, so well done, ref.
Yeah, well done. That's very good. And as we see, Zebras not throwing any bodies forward. They've taken the free kick and still got 5 behind the ball, but it'll go in the direction of Spandler. She falls a bit short. Nichols almost ends up with it inside there, and that's thumped clear for a throw-in. Lapierre is determined to give that to Mason.
Why are you jogging, Kayla? That's better. Just slow it down.
Yeah, just not even catching that would have been better. As we see, Mason launches it down the wing towards Nichols. Got Seajack and Hernick for company. Gets a toe in, and I think that's going to go out for a goal kick. And it has.
So, last chance saloon, and then Emily Hernick, who's surprisingly been off for the last bit's going to come back on. I'm surprised she wasn't thrown back in sooner. Such a goal threat. And she's going to come on here for a final roll of the dice for City.
Also surprised Fagan went off and just heads straight off.
So,
Steventon
needs a goal kick. Down the middle here. And we're going to try and build from the back instead. Here's Siechka. She's been fantastic all day. Walsh. She's found that avenue shut off by Spandler, and it's sloppy, it's out of play, it's going to be another 30 seconds killed.
There can't be as much stoppage time in this one. I'd suggest about 2 minutes, so there's not too long left, and that's a nice bit of skill from Bowden. Plays it back to Graham. Eventually over to DK, who plays it inside to Nick, looks to play the return ball. Now Fujimoto on it in the centre of paint. They've got to get this forward, Launceston City. Mason comes out to pick it up. It's a dangerous place to be taking a touch, and Bygrave hassles well. Last chance to counter. Just goes bang, tries to go through Graham, but Graham holds the ground very well.
Oh, well done. Graham was strong in the challenge. Zebra's almost caught fiddling around with it in a dangerous part of the area.
And that's
not
actually
what
gone out for
doing.
That's gone out for a corner as well, Andrew Cooley. Sorry to cut you off there, but that's fairly wasteful corner. There's a big, humongous debate going on in the centre of the park who's taken this.
Well, I think everyone in the back four need to stay back. It looks like they are, and Bowden and Burt will just slowly make their way over there, and then I reckon they'll play it short and just try and shield it to the corner.
No Launceston City player going over to play it short either, so if they're smart about this and take it right now.
I think he's finally woken up to it, but
shouldn't have someone from the far post coming across to get that.
Surely Bowden's not going to cross this in. I wouldn't have thought so. Intelligently done by an experienced player. She's just going to shield it. Time's becoming an enemy. This might be it. I'm not sure they're going to get one last look.
I think they're going to allow them to take the throw in again.
It's looking like Spandler's goal in the 5th minute will settle the contest. Bowden, the target of the throw, just overhit. Righto, will they have the chance to launch the goal kick? Everyone's got to get forward now. Have they got anything left in the tank, City? This has got to go long and strong from Brown. She's played it short. Fujimoto turns. Nichols pressing her. They don't have time for this. Now it's smashed away by Hernick. Lapierre and Kanagiza. Kanagiza wins it. We're ticking into the 94th minute here. Here's Bowden. Bowden couldn't pick out Nichols. Again, Zebra's controlling the ball. Burt just chips it forward. Kanagiza out after it. Brown lets it run. But at 93 and a half minutes.
Some of the play here from Launceston City would indicate, I don't think they've looked at the clock recently. You've got to pick that one up if you're the keeper. Can't short pass it out to Fujimoto. I know you got the wind against you, but it's all hands on deck. And again, another short goal kick. surely has to go long.
Yeah, it's all over. Hobart Zebras claim the Women's Statewide Cup. Laura Spandler scored early. City were knocking on the door for near on 90 minutes. They could not break through. A brilliant defensive effort. A fine game from Shelley Cook. And Zebras claim the cup. They extend their winning streak to 17 and are statewide champions in 2017. An enthralling affair, that one, Fuzzy.
I absolutely enjoyed every minute of that one. It was great end-to-end stuff. Both teams attacking well, and just the rear guard holding that one up for both teams. As you see, going down to do the pleasantries. I mean, man of the match award for that one is going to be quite hard. I mean, you've got to give it to both sets of centre-backs. Let's see Jack and Hernick, and then O'Brien and Undy at the back. Probably going to lean slightly towards Addie O'Brien just for the defensive clean sheet and the assist as well. But an enthralling game, well played to Launceston City. You could see why they made this final, defeating two of the other top four members of the Super League. As we see the cup presentation ready, we'll leave you with the pictures of the presentation and the stats here. So from Cooling and myself, we'll see you very soon for the Lacazette Jet Cup final.